Hey everybody. Today was kind of a big day on my channel, or for me anyway, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I'm doing it here in my normal spot with my setup and everything because I need to show you something on my computer to really illustrate the whole point. So I'm just kind of doing this through OBS. Also, if I'm talking really quietly, it's because my wife is asleep, and I should really look into uh, soundproofing this room or something, or putting a soundproof door in here or something. I don't know. It would open up a lot more opportunities to record, but that's okay. So this might be a bit of an ASMR video. We'll see. No, so yeah, today was a big day because I'm going to show you. The channel hit 340,000 subscribers. Now, anytime the channel hits an increment of 10 or whatever, it's a neat, it's a time to celebrate. You got your, you reach it's a little milestone, it's a little milestone along the way. 340 though is a very specific number, and it's a big deal for me because it validates a theory that I have about my channel growth that I wanted to explain with you guys. So people who have followed me in my various places for a while have probably heard this before because this isn't like some kind of secret or anything. I've talked about this before, and I want to emphasize before I get into this. In no way is this meant to be bragging. I always feel gross whenever I talk about the growth of my channel. It's really more of just an astonishment on my part, and you know how when you predict something and then that thing comes true, you're just kind of like, wow, I actually called that. Well, I actually called this. And I wanted to kind of go through how I came up with this, and I don't know if this applies to other channels or not, but anyway, that is the premise here. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And to illustrate it, like I said, I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull up Social Blade here in a second and show you the numbers. But basically, let me start with this. So, in January of this year, at the beginning of this year, I officially went full time on this channel. The background is that I had worked for 12 years at a major newspaper. It was, I guess, a good job as jobs go, but it was not very fulfilling. There was a lot of BS attached to it. And it definitely did not leave me time to do the things that I really care about and the things that really scratch my itches creatively, especially when it comes to filmmaking, writing, that kind of thing. So in 2017, I got a job. I changed from that job to kind of go work at a startup, very small company. I was managing YouTube channels. And toward the end of last year, the writing was kind of on the wall with that company. The guy who runs it was wanting to kind of move things in a different direction. He needed a little bit more stability in his own life. So he was kind of looking more for like a full-time position at another place, and he was going to kind of, if not completely dissolve the company that I was working with him with on whatever, he was going to change it into a completely different thing. Anyway, so at that moment when I was considering, okay, maybe I should just go full time on the channel, maybe that's something that can actually support me, it was barely supporting me. And if I was going to do this, I really needed to make sure I understood exactly where things were going, and make sure that later on it was a huge gamble, because at that particular moment I couldn't really afford to do it, especially not if I was going to be legal and paying my taxes and stuff like that. Where I'm going with that is I spent weeks analyzing my channel and the growth of my channel every possible way you can imagine. I mean, I remember specifically out walking the dogs and just like trying to crank through numbers in my head and trying to figure out like, because it seems so, I mean, it was growing well, but it wasn't just a matter of, hey, I'd like to have X many subscribers. It was a matter of, I'm going to need this much on this channel in order to be able to support myself, So it was a scary time. And it was a big, huge decision. And when I made that decision, I was very much betting on the channel and banking on the channel to do something. So anyway, after analyzing those numbers every which way I could possibly think of, the one that I kind of settled on was and I'm sure there's a better term for this. Maybe Ben Solins could help me out with that because he's a data guy. But I was calling it the exponential. I was looking at it exponentially, basically. I started looking at how many times my channel, or how long it took for my channel to double in subscribers, and what the rate of that was throughout the life of the channel. Now, I got started kind of getting serious about this in terms of deciding I was going to put out a video every single week and sticking to that and being consistent back in the fall of 2014. And when I looked back over that period, I was able to, well, make an assumption as to what was going to happen this year. And the assumption that I came up with was 340,000. Now, I want to show you how I did that. So let me switch over here. All right. So this is Social Blade. For anybody who is not familiar with Social Blade, it's a YouTube stats website. Anyway, but what we're looking at here is this one right here. So you got daily subs, total subscribers. This is like the only place I can think of where you can find cumulative subscriber numbers. So this is where I'm going to right here. Blah, blah, blah. I'm having trouble talking tonight. So this only goes back to actually it goes back to November of 2015. So it doesn't actually go all the way back to the beginning of 2015. But if you look right here, there you go. So January 1st, 2016, I had 1.79 thousand subscribers. Just for this, I went into the YouTube statistics, the analytics, to see where I started in 2015. So I had 553 subscribers at the beginning of 2015. So in 2015, I went from 553 to 1.79 thousand. So what does that mean exponentially? So 500, let's just round it down to 500. Double once is 1,000, double twice is 2,000. Well, I didn't quite get to 2,000. So it doubled once and then almost made it to 2. Not quite, but almost made it to 2. And actually, if you factor in the 553, that would be... No, it didn't quite get there. Sorry, I started thinking. I should never do that. Okay, so we start 2016 at 1.79 thousand. Let's just round it to 1.8. Go to January 2017. Okay, January 1st, 2017, 19.14 thousand. So I went from 1.79 thousand to 19,000, 19.14. Okay, so let's look at exponentially from there. It went from 1.79, let's just go 1.8 just to be easy. 1.8 twice is what, 2.6? No, 3.6. So that's one, doubling. 3.6, and then like 7.2, I believe, after that. Yeah. Double that, and you got 14.4. So now it is doubled 3 times, plus a little bit, and you get to the 19. So in 2017, it doubled 3 times. You with me? Okay. So in 2018, by the way, I'm sure some of you guys are math geniuses and know the actual terms for all this. You're probably screaming at me in the comments. Have at it. Okay, so yeah, I ended 2018 with 85,000. So began 2018. I began 2017 with 17,000, 17.9 thousand. Let's just say 17,000. And I ended it with 85,000. So again, 17,000 double once is 34. 17,000 or 34 doubles to what, 68? Yeah, 68. And then a little bit, and you get to 85. So that doubled twice and then a little bit. Year before, it doubled 3 times in a little bit. That year, it doubled twice in a little bit. So, long story short, hello. Every year leading up to this one, when I was making this decision, when I was looking at the numbers, I was trying to factor in how many times it doubled. And each time, it doubled either twice or close to twice to 3 times-ish. It was in that area. So, I just made the assumption that it would do it again this year. So I started 2018 at 85,000. 85 twice is 170. 170 twice is 340. So that's how I came up with 340. And I I thought let's just assume it only happens twice and it'll get to 340. And at the beginning of this year, I just when I looked at that number, I was like, there's no way. There's no possible way this channel is going to actually get to 340. It's just no. That was just way too high. But I made that prediction, and I felt like it was safe enough that even if I didn't quite get there, I would have enough subscribers and enough views and enough revenue down the line to be able to sustain myself doing this. I knew it would be a little bit of a dip, and it was, but I got through, and here we are. And I expect, I mean, it's the 10th of December. We've got 21 more days, and the channel's doing pretty well right now, actually. If we want to look up here, I had that giant spike earlier this month. As you can see, I got 12,400 subscribers in that one day on the 18th. It's gotten down more into the 500-600 a day range, which is still pretty friggin' great. I will take it. Right now we're kind of it'll slope off a little bit more, so we're in the 400 to 500 a day range. But if we manage to stay in that particular range, I think it's safe to say that I could get another 10,000 by the end of the month, which would make it 350. So I'm expecting at this point to end at 350. And I actually had some Patreon people. Let me put it back on the main camera here. I actually kind of did a bet with my Patreon people to see who could get closest to where I'll end up. I actually guessed 350, and unless things just completely tank or something takes off again, I think that's still a reasonable thing to assume. But looking forward, this is when things get really crazy. So again, I feel very validated that my theory seems to have worked out for this year, but if that extends forward again, we're starting to talk about some ridiculous numbers. We're looking at, if I'm at 350 and that doubles once, that's 700,000. And if that doubles again, that's 1.4 million. So I'm not placing any bets just yet. If you guys want to take a guess down in the comments as to where you think the channel will be a year from today, although the year isn't over yet, obviously, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. If you want to make some bets, if you think that this trend will continue, I personally think it will not quite double twice in the next year. I would be perfectly happy with it doubling once. 700,000 is nothing to sneeze at. But I get people all the time that say that they think I'm going to get to 1 million in a year or something like that. That would be great. I'm not holding my breath. But anyway, if this trend continues, that's where things will wind up. And I'm kind of just curious what you guys think. If you think that that's going to continue, if you think I've just been lucky this year getting that. And sometimes I wonder if maybe the fact that I kind of set that as a goal in my head had something to do with it. I'm not getting into the secret type shit or anything, but like, maybe subconsciously it kind of, who knows, could have affected the way I ran the channel. I think also just the fact that I've been able to do it full time this year makes a huge difference. I've been able to focus more on it. I've been able to pull other people in, build a team. All of that builds quality, it builds consistency, and it helps build the channel. So with that in mind, maybe as I'm able to keep growing it and bringing more people in, that would actually facilitate the faster growth necessary to make it actually double twice again next year. But who knows? Anyway, this has just been an interesting, very validating thing that happened today, and I was excited about it. I just want to share it with you guys and hear your thoughts. So enough of that. I will cut this off for now. This has been the TMI channel. Joe's got TMI, not the regular Answers with Joe channel. So that's my spiel. I always say it at the end now. But anyway, thanks you guys, and back for more tomorrow-ish. All right. Y'all take care.